What's going on, No Nation? CJ Wilson here with Dope Talk. FSU stays hot within the trail on the transfer portal, bringing in more guys. It seems like every time we drop a video, more guys are added. But again, FSU continues to stay hot within the transfer portal with a couple commitments from some SEC schools. Let's go ahead and jump into it. FSU got a running back out the transfer portal, Roydell Williams, 5'10", 214 pounds, transfer out of Alabama. We spoke about him on a previous video in regards to him taking an official visit to Florida State. He went ahead and made it official and committed and locked his signature in for FSU to play for this upcoming year. Has 1 year left to play. I like this kid a lot. Dynamic back, split carries for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Had over 560 rush yards and 6 total touchdowns in 2023. Real patient back. If you watch his film, nice feet, real good vision, has a feel for running the football. I feel like from just in comparison to Trey Benson, Trey, it was more so 1 yard, 2 yard, 3 yards, 2 yards, just that nothing. It's a big burst down the field for Trey Benson due to just the type of style of running back he is. With FSU, the type of plays you run, they're kind of slow developing, letting your blockers get in front and letting your blockers let the blocks develop, so to speak. And that's one thing Trey Benson did struggle with, is just letting the blocks develop and being patient. That's something that if you look back in the 2022 season for FSU, Treshaun Ward was excellent at. But you factor in Roydell Williams, he was a very patient runner for Alabama. So I think our scheme is a little bit better for Roydell than Alabama, just for this simple fact. I think from just the type of runner he is, he's very patient, and we have a lot of slow developing players that you have to allow the blocks to develop. And I think Roydell will be a hit for that. I think it'll be a consistent 5, 6, 4 yard gains, and of course your 10-yard gains mixed in that. I don't think we will get behind the sticks at all much with Roydell. I like him a lot, and you pair him with Lawrence Toafili, what we have in the backfield, Keziah Holmes, and of course the true freshman and incoming Cam Davis. I really like the FSU's running back room, so a really good get for FSU and Roydell Williams. From a fit perspective, I don't think it couldn't have been a more perfect match. Real patient runner. It reads the block, sets his blocks up as well, and there's always 3, 4, 5, 6 yards. You don't really get behind the sticks for Roydell. That's going to be very key for FSU moving forward in 2024, just to have optimum offensive output, not get behind the sticks, stay ahead of a change and things like that. So I'm really excited for Roydell and what we have going. But before we get on to the next person, let's go ahead and get some ad reads in. On the Trail is brought to you by Realtor Jude Paul. Jude is a realtor in Southwest Florida, but services the entire state of Florida. Whether you are trying to buy your home or sell your home, Jude is your guy. He's willing to donate 20% of the closing costs back to you. Again, you can reach out to Jude at www.homesforknows.com. Again, www.homesforknows.com. Let's jump to the second commitment of the weekend for FSU. Richie Leonard, out of Cocoa High School, played football for the Florida Gators, transferred to Florida State, has 2 years of eligibility left to play. I think this is a pretty good get for FSU. Dynamic guy that started every game for the Florida Gators, was the team leader in snaps played for the offensive line. He was one of their better offensive linemen for the Florida Gators. I like this take a lot. Really quick feet, and he can also snap the ball as well. So you factor in what FSU did in grabbing Ferguson out of Alabama. The other interior offensive lineman that they grabbed out of the transfer portal. I really think that's a really good get for FSU. If you pair those two guys in, both guys have SEC quality, bigger guys, I think, because if you look back last year, just to be completely honest, that was one of the weaknesses for FSU was the interior blocking. Just being completely honest, the guard push, the center push was pretty much how can I put this? It was non-existent. It was really tough. So I think we get at the very least more talent and depth within the position room. I think both of these guys, to be honest with you, could contribute for FSU in 2024 and could contribute in a big way. At 6'2", 310 pounds, you factor in Ferguson, who was around 320 plus, a lot of beef for the interior for FSU to open up lanes for a guy like Roydell Williams to make something shake. So again, he started 12 games for the Florida Gators, was their team leader in snaps played on the offensive line. I really think that's a really good get for FSU. Got better on the in the interior of the offensive line and got a good running back to complement. I think we're going to be fine moving forward within the run game once Coach Atkins get his hands on these guys and coach them up and get them familiar and acclimated within the FSU scheme. Going on to the last commitment for the 2024 recruiting cycle for this past weekend, rather. a pretty interesting get, a good get. I know a lot of fans been asking for a linebacker play, a linebacker attraction within the transfer portal. FSU got it. This official visit went under the radar. Got the commitment from Shawn Murphy, 6'2", 225-pound linebacker from Alabama. That's right. You might as well call it, I guess you could say road tribe right now, because it's a lot of Alabama to FSU traction right now. I think it's 5 players in total in the transfer portal that has elected to play for FSU from Alabama. You have Ferguson, of course, the offensive lineman, Roydell Williams, the running back we just previously mentioned. And, of course, you have, along with Earl Little Jr., one of my favorite guys in the transfer portal, big-time playmaker from the defensive back standpoint. I think he has NFL potential. And Malik Benson Jr., one of the fastest guys on the Alabama Crimson Tide roster, clocked in at a 10.44 in the 100 meters. You add in Shawn Murphy here. That's 5 Alabama Crimson Tide, players within the FSU roster right now. Hell, it could be more. You never know with the retiring of Nick Saban. So again, he had 13 tackles. He has 3 years left to play. Was a redshirt freshman this past year. 13 tackles from the Crimson Tide. I know people looking at the production and things like that, but you got to understand where he was at. He was at Alabama, right? You guys know, just because you're not playing as a younger player on Alabama doesn't mean you're not as talented, because we've seen a lot of those guys kind of come in their sophomore, redshirt, sophomore, junior, hell, even senior year and be very productive. I think that's the case with Shawn Murphy as well. Just looking at some of the 247 reporters when they was, talking about the news of him in the transfer portal, they were pretty high on him and what he can do as far as his contributions to the Bama team, rather, in the year 2024. A lot of older guys graduated, and Shawn Murphy was kind of going to be in that next in line to kind of, produce and be, the linebacker that he was projected to be. A top 75 player out of the 2022 recruiting class from the DMV area, 6'2", 225, a striker, well-built, a big need. I know we lost Kalen DeLoach to graduation along with Tatum Bethune, and we got some big news early in the week once we got the I guess you could say not necessarily a commitment, but a withdrawal of his name being entered into the transfer portal in DJ Lundy. So we got DJ Lundy back. You add Shawn Murphy, and I really think that helps our linebacker room a lot and takes, a big relief off our shoulders. I think we will be okay. And then, factor in Blake Nicholson and some of the younger guys that's want to be developed. I think we should be okay. But I like Shawn Murphy a lot. I think he could bring a lot of playmaking ability to Tallahassee. The talent is definitely there. It's going to be coached by Randy Shannon, a really good coach. Again, I just think Shawn Murphy at that time in Alabama was just had older players in front of him, the natural progression of college football. His time was coming pretty soon, but now his time is coming in Tallahassee for the FSU Seminoles. So I'm excited to see that dynamic playmaker on the field. I'm pretty sure we have more news coming soon. This is CJ Wilson with Dope Talk. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. Go Noles.